I'm sorry, recording was not on. Okay. So organizational planning impacts the projects by means of project prioritization based on risk, funding, and other considerations relevant to the organizational strategic plan. You see, in organization, aside of projects, programs, and portfolios, there is operations going on, and organizational planning covers the operations as well. So, organizational planning will, anyways, overall organizational planning will impact the projects, and that would generally appear through portfolio, because the prioritization of the portfolios from the point of view of the risk, funding, or other considerations is done by the portfolio management relevant to the organization strategic plan. Organizational planning can direct the management of resources and support for the component projects on the basis of risk categories, specific lines of business, or general types of projects such as infrastructure and process improvement. So portfolio has been given all these responsibilities. Basically, all of these things will have financial implications. Risk categorization, the risk categorization is more important because that is the main source of prioritization. Okay, let's have a look at how they are configured, all of these things. Organizational strategy is sitting on top, and your portfolio is aligned with the organizational strategy. From administrative point of view, under portfolio, you can have programs and you can have sub-portfolios. This portfolio A is basically a sub-portfolio of the main portfolio, right? Program A is a program under the portfolio, and project 1 is an independent project. Project 1 is an independent project directly hooked up to the portfolio. Why? Because project 1 is aligned directly with the organizational strategy. Similarly, program A is directly aligned with the organizational strategy. Portfolio itself is directly aligned with the organizational strategy. Program A has got 2 projects which are the component projects, which are within the program. So these 2 projects are answerable to program, although you may say that they are included in the portfolio, but for all practical purposes, all decisions about these 2 projects are to be taken at program A level. So project 2 and 3 will get their prioritization, will get their resources, will get all their decisions from program A. Program A is their portfolio, program A is their boss, program A is their sponsor. Looking at the program B, in program B, we have got a sub-program B1 having project 4 and 5 in it. This program B is acting or behaving exactly like program A, this sub-program B1. It has got 2 projects that are answerable to program B1, and the main program, program B, has actually assigned a major part of its strategy to program B1, and based on that, program B1 has formulated project 4 and project 5, which are answerable only to program B1. They are not directly answerable to program B. And then there is yet another project, project 6, which is not part of subprogram B1, and it is answerable directly to the program B. Meaning what? The strategic objectives of program B are fulfilled by giving out its major part of its strategy to subprogram B1 and a small part to one of the projects, which is to deliver something. Right? Now, the benefits coming from the program B1 and the deliverable coming out of project 6 will be consolidated by program B to form the consolidated benefit of program B. Now let's talk about portfolio, sub-portfolio A. Main portfolio is the sample portfolio level. Portfolio A is having one independent project directly answering to it, just like project 1 was answering to the main portfolio. Similarly, sub-portfolio A is having an independent project 7 directly answering to it. Then it has got a program C under the portfolio. Now, program C has got two projects, 8 and 9, and certain operations. Now, the project 8 and 9 are actually going to be fulfilling the purposes of program C, and the operations, these are those activities which are included in the program work, right? And the main portfolio will have its own operations. So, in other words, these operations is the other work for the program as well as for the portfolio. So this is the other work. And for doing all of the lower level activities, which are project 1 to project 9 and the operations, we need to have certain kind of resources, and we need to have some shared resources, stakeholders. So both resources and stakeholders, they are to be shared by all of these 9 projects, right? So naturally, as far as resources are concerned, let's talk about that. We will be constrained for resources, and there has to be somebody deciding which project gets how much. And this decision is actually going to come from the portfolio level, right? And similarly, stakeholders are also going to be shared. Maybe there is a stakeholder which is a stakeholder for project 1 and project 9 also, right? So that way they will have shared resources and stakeholders. I hope I have explained it as the way you can understand. Is it okay, Hashim?
Yes, clear.
Shaul,
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
if you have any questions, please do raise hand, because I'm trying to explain as much as I can. But if you want to have a debate, you want to have a question, we can always talk about it. Okay, just look at the interaction of these project programs and portfolios. This is from the older version, but this was interesting because it tells us how the things are being communicated. A project which is directly under a portfolio, what does it get from the portfolio? It gets the strategies and priorities. It gets the progressive elaboration, governance, disposition on requested changes, impact from changes in other portfolio program and project. And in return, it provides back to the portfolio the performance reports, change requests with impact on other portfolios, programs, or projects, and so on. So generally this cycle goes on for the sub portfolios also. On the left hand side, if you see the sub portfolio, this sub portfolio is getting the same things as input and is receiving back the performance reports from this sub portfolio and any change requests which could impact other portfolio program or project. Now, talking about the sub, okay, we'll talk about the sub portfolio later. And under the portfolio, we also have a program. You see, the same things are being input here and same things are going back, almost the same. Now, this program has got sub-programs as well as independent projects under him. And the sub-program may have its own projects under it. So you see, the main program has got its own projects and sub-programs may have their own projects, right? If we talk about the sub-portfolio may have certain projects directly answering to the sub-portfolio and certain programs answering to the sub-portfolio. And those certain programs may have some projects directly reporting to the program and some sub-programs reporting to the program. and those sub-programs may have their own project. So projects could exist at various places. You see, this is one place, 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 this is one place. So there are 6 different places at different levels where the projects can exist in a portfolio. Directly under a portfolio, under a sub-portfolio, under a program, under a sub-program, and so on and so forth. Okay. Moving on to the program management. Naturally, we understand the definition of program management is application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to a program to meet the program requirements and to obtain benefits and control not available by managing projects individually. If the projects which are included in the program were to be done separately outside of the program, they all are successful, the sum of the benefits of all of these projects will never be equal to the benefit of this program, because programs have synergetic effect. Program does some special treatment to the benefits of the projects. It consolidates them. If these projects or these components were not under the program, there would be many benefits, but they would never ever be consolidated. And without consolidation, that loses most of the flavor. The most of the benefit is not actually delivered if they are not properly consolidated. So program management is this. It involves aligning multiple components to achieve the program goals and allows for optimized or integrated cost, schedule, and effort. Components within a program are related through a common outcome or delivery of a collective set of benefits. So all the components within a program must have some relationship, and how that relationship is going to be, that would be they would be contributing to the common objective, common outcome, common benefit. So they are all contributing towards the strategy of the program. If the relationship among the projects is determined to be only that of a shared client, seller, technology, or resource, meaning what? That all of these projects which are being done under this program relate to a single customer. So where is the relationship? Is the single customer the relationship? That is not a relationship. That is a categorization. And categorization is what portfolio does. Program is not responsible to categorize the projects. Program has to have interaction, relation amongst its projects. Just simply by having them for a shared client or a seller or a technology or a resource does not qualify it to be called a program. You may like to call it a portfolio or a sub-portfolio, not a program. In programs, the project managers need to integrate and control the interdependencies amongst the components by working in 5 interrelated and interdependent program management performance domains. So here it comes. What all are the program management performance domains? And this is exactly what is going to be tested in your exam. These are the 5 domains. Program strategy alignment, program benefit management, program stakeholder engagement, program governance, and program lifecycle management. You see, now once we are studying all this, we will very clearly know and understand there was a different kind of benefit management lifecycle. There was a different kind of program lifecycle management, and then dealing with the program governance, that is a kind of umbrella. Stakeholder engagement, doing it at the program level, and top of it, the strategic alignment of the whole program, keeping it aligned in such a way that it contributes to the desired benefits. Ji, Hashim.
Are these the knowledge areas where they will test an exam, these 5 domains?
Yes, they are the domains, but they are not called knowledge areas.
But similar to knowledge areas, what we have in PMP.
Well, not really. Not really. We don't call them that.
Okay. These are not chapters that you need to study and understand, or these are each of them is a separate book.
No. Yes, they are related, but at the same time, they address a separate domain. How are you going to measure the performance of a program? These are the 5 domains by which you can measure a performance of a program.
Okay, performance measurement.
About the knowledge area, because although they are the specialties, but they are not the knowledge areas. They are like KPIs.
KPI.
Okay. So, through these program management performance domains, the program manager oversees and analyzes. Because they are kind of KPIs, therefore, you can oversee and analyze component interdependencies to assist in the determination of the optimal approach for managing the components as a program. Program is a big concept. If you're trying to manage the program, then you have to, do a lot of tuning up of all these components. Actions related to these interdependencies may include, number 1, leading and coordinating common program activities, such as financing and procurement across all program components, work or phases, resolving resource constraints or conflicts that affect multiple components within the program. Now, you just look at it. I have got 10 projects running under my program, but there are certain issues and certain elements which are common to these 10 projects. So those common activities, for example, there is a risk which applies to 5 of my projects. So this becomes a program risk. This does not remain a project risk because every project manager will try to deal with that risk in a different way, and we don't want that. We want consistency in management of the risk. Therefore, if a risk is affecting more than one project, that becomes a program level risk, and program manager takes on that responsibility. Similarly, financing all this, having funding organized, procurements at the of all the projects, all the contract management at the program level has to be arranged. Then, if there are any resource concerns, because this program management actually will act like a portfolio for its components. The distribution of resources is going to be the responsibility of program manager within the program. But whatever resource pool has been allowed to the program manager will further distribute those resources to candidate projects within the program. So resolving resource constraints and our conflicts that affect multiple components within the program, this is the responsibility of program manager. Although I do understand that generally resolving resource constraint and conflict, this is the responsibility of portfolio management from a higher perspective. But because this program is a package and the projects within this program are not directly answerable to the portfolio, and portfolio has no control exercised over these projects directly, therefore all the resources for this program have been allocated to the program, and program manager is then responsible for further distribution of these resources, resolving of these resource constraints and conflicts at its own level. I hope this thing is amply clear. Then communicating and reporting to stakeholders is in a manner that reflects all activities within the program. You see, There are program stakeholders and there are project stakeholders. In many cases, the project stakeholders and program stakeholders will be the same, but in some cases, projects will have different stakeholders, and some stakeholders may be common between the project and the program. Especially dealing with those stakeholders which are common to more than one project, that would automatically become the responsibility of the program manager, right? So communicating and reporting to those stakeholders in a manner that reflect all activities within the program. It has to be a unified approach. You cannot have the same stakeholder being dealt by 3 different project managers in 3 different ways. We want to be consistent. That is good program management. Then responding proactively to risks spanning multiple components of the program. So the risk management also needs to be at the program level also. Well, I'm not saying that there will be no stakeholder management or risk management at project level. The project level responsibilities remain there. But if there is any commonality, there are common stakeholders, or there are common risks, those common risks and common stakeholders will be dealt at the program level, right? So yes, when the projects are trying to identify their risks, they may identify a number of risks. Looking at the program structure, they would decide that they cannot handle themselves. They are not allowed to handle by themselves. So such risks will have to be escalated to the program level, right? So any risk which is not within the scope of the project and they may have to be dealt with at the higher level will be escalated to the program level. Then aligning program efforts with organizational strategic direction. Naturally, this was the basic thing. We have designed this program to basically align the strategic objectives, the organizational direction. We are aligned with the organizational or strategic direction. And we have to ensure throughout the life of the program that we keep aligned with the program, keep aligning the program with the organizational strategies and direction. That impacts and affects individual components, groups of components, our program goals and objectives. So if we are awake and throughout we are keeping that aligned, we are fine. But we lose sight of it, we may be completely off track. Next important thing is, these are all the different activities which are taken in program management. Resolving scope, cost, schedule, quality, and risk impacts within a shared governance structure. You see, there is a program governance going on. This program governance bounds all the subordinate components to abide by it. And those conflicts which are related to scope, time, cost, quality, and risk will have to be dealt with centrally at the program level. Finally, tailoring the program management activities, processes, and interfaces to effectively address cultural, socio-economic, political, and environmental differences in programs. You see, there are a lot many things on program manager's plate. Program manager has no time absolutely to get involved into the micromanagement of projects. And as a program manager, you must understand that managing or controlling the projects is not your responsibility. You have got larger and higher responsibilities which are listed here. This is your job. This is your actual job specification. You are supposed as a program manager to be involved at this level, not at micromanagement of the projects. And the dilemma is that normally new project managers who get promoted to the position of program managers, they are experienced, very much experienced in project managing projects, but they have zero experience in program management, and they start dealing the program like a project, and they start micromanaging, thus undermining the authority of their project managers and thus causing a disaster. And while they are undermining their project managers by interfering in their job, they do not know and understand how the program is to be managed, and program itself goes for dogs, right? So with great responsibility, with great authority comes great responsibility. So you must be prepared for that kind of responsibility. You should not keep practicing whatever you have learned so far. So this is very important. That's why I have spent so much time on this slide. Through structural oversight and governance, program management enables appropriate planning, control, delivery, transition, and benefit sustainment across the components within the program to achieve the program's intended strategic benefit. Now, when we talk about the strategic benefit, there's the overall benefit this program is going to be yielding. And for the delivery of that benefit, you have to plan, you have to provide oversight and governance for planning, control, delivery, transition, and sustainment of all those benefits. So this is not only the benefit, this we are talking about the benefit life cycle. We are benefit planning, we are how we are going to control it, how they will be delivered, how they will be transitioned, how they will be sustained. Then we plan this is the benefit realization plan. Benefit realization plan tells me when what benefit will be delivered. So this is my planning. Then I will ensure that these benefits do deliver on those times, and then the delivery will actually happen, and these deliveries will have to be then unified, transitioned to the end user, and ultimately when we are transitioning it, naturally there will be certain requirements of transitioning the benefits to the customer, but at the same time we also have to provide a benefit sustainment plan to that customer, as if the future benefits which are going to come out of it, we will close the program is not going to be no more. The customer would be responsible for future sustainment of these benefits, so we will provide them a benefit sustainment plan. Although in benefit transition, we also provided them some kind of training how to make use of these benefits and all that, but how these benefits are going to sustain, we have to train them and we have to provide them a complete plan for that. Program management provides a framework for managing related efforts, considering key factors such as strategic benefits, coordinated planning, complex interdependencies, deliverable integration, and optimized pacing. So this comes under the responsibility of the program, not only to deliver those ultimate strategic benefits, but this all has to be so well orchestrated, so beautifully, organized and synchronized, that the complex interdependencies amongst various projects and all that is so well orchestrated, so well organized, that we reach the optimized level of optimization desired out of this overall integration. So program is a huge level of integrated output, and this output is not in shape of a deliverable, but classically this is the benefit delivery, integrated benefit delivery. Now a bit about the relationship between the portfolio management, program management, project management, and operations organizational project management. And I hope you understand what organizational project management really means. From the organizational project management point of view, you must understand that project management, program management, and portfolio management, all these three disciplines can come under organizational project management. So when we talk about organizational project management, these three disciplines are part of OPM, but there is a fourth thing which actually glues them together, and that is called organizational enablers. And organizational enablers are just around the corner. They are the culture of the organization, like the enterprise environmental factors, a lot many major items from the organizational enterprise environmental factors and organizational assets, they would form part as organizational enablers. These enablers are basically facilitating the union of project, program, and portfolio, and this acts like a glue, puts it all together. Moreover, why do we call it organizational project management? Because this is different from project management. Previously, when there was no concept of organizational project management, then this discipline was confusingly discussed. You know, you used to call this also project management, that also project management. So managing our project was a project management, and managing project, program, and portfolio was also called the project management. This was totally confusing. So what they did is, management of our project is project management, management of our program is program management, management of our portfolio is portfolio management, and management of them all is organizational project management. And that is the fourth part, which act as a clue, is the organizational enablers. In order to understand portfolio, program, and project management, it is important to recognize the similarities and differences amongst these disciplines. It is also helpful to understand how they relate to organizational project management. The OPM, organizational project management, is a strategy execution framework utilizing projects, programs, portfolio management, as well as organizational enabling practices. Now, we have to define what these organizational enabling practices are and what do they do to consistently and predictably deliver organizational strategy, producing better performance, better results, and sustainable competitive advantage. So you see, we are talking about optimization, right? So we are not only talking about being effective, we are always talking about the efficiency. We want to do more with less. Portfolio, program, and project management are aligned with, are driven by organizational strategic goals. Portfolio management, how does it align with the organizational strategies? By selecting the right programs or projects. Naturally, we understand the role of portfolio management. They are responsible for selecting the right projects and programs to be included in the portfolio. Otherwise, that would not be done. Then, prioritizing the work. Which project and program has got what level of prioritization, as if the resources and other things could be allocated to it. And lastly, providing the needed resources. Prioritizing the work and needing resources. As far as the program management is concerned, that has another way of doing it. This harmonizes its projects and program components and controls interdependencies in order to realize specified benefits. So this is how program contributes towards the organizational strategic goals. And as far as the project is concerned, project management develops and implements plans to achieve a specific scope that is driven by the objective of the program or portfolio, is subjected to and ultimately to the organizational strategy. So in other words, all of these three things ultimately end up satisfying the strategic objective. Now, looking at from the OPM point of view, OPM, organizational project management, advances organizational capability, overall the efficiency and competency of doing project programs and program portfolios. So advances the organizational capability by linking project program and portfolio management principles and practices with organizational enablers. And what are those organizational enablers? They are structural, cultural, technological, and human resource practices. Generally found in enterprise environmental factors are organizational process assets. But from the organizational point of view, these are the four which serve as organizational enablers: structural, cultural, technological, and human resource practices. And they will be used as the glue to put it all together. Project programs and portfolios are glued together by these organizational enablers. Program management, portfolio, program, and project management are aligned with, are driven by organizational strategic goals. I think we have seen this slide before. Okay. Program management and organization measures its capabilities, then plans and implements improvements towards the systematic achievement of best practices. This is the relationship of program management. In organizational project management, projects, programs, portfolios from the point of view of scope, change, planning, management, success, and monitoring. And I think you have seen this diagram in PMBOK also, and this clearly defines the differences between these three areas: project, programs, and portfolios. For example, if you look at it from the scope point of view, projects have defined objectives. Scope is progressively elaborated throughout the project life cycle, whereas in programs, they have a larger scope and provide more significant benefits. So you see, programs are all about benefits. And portfolios have organizational scope that changes with the strategic objectives of the organization. If organizational strategic objectives are changed, the portfolio itself, the organizational scope changes, strategic objective changes. Right, I'm not going to go through all of it because this is generally known to you already from PMBOK, from other standards. This is everywhere. Let's move on to the next part, that is relationship between program and project management. Right, we have already, to some extent understood how projects and programs interrelate with each other, how projects form part of a program. During project and project program, our project initiation, program manager oversees and provides direction and guidance to the project managers. Right? Coordinate efforts between the projects and do not directly manage the individual component. This was a point which I have been harping upon for quite some time. You see, project manager, program manager has absolutely nothing to do with the management of a project. He does not need to micromanage. He can oversee, he can guide, he can coordinate, but not manage or control directly. So it oversees and provides direction and guidance to the project manager, act as a mentor, give basic guidelines to the project manager, come to his help when he needs, coordinate their effort with other projects, but do not directly manage the individual components. This is the essence of program management. No micromanagement. Essential program management activities, as I have already defined to you, they include planning the program, not the project, planning the program, identifying and planning the benefit realization and sustainment. This is the job of the program manager. Identification and control of interdependencies between the projects. Addressing escalated issues amongst projects and that comprise the program. So all those issues which will not be resolved by the project would automatically be escalated up towards the program manager. So he will be dealing with them. Tracking the contribution of each project and non-project work to the consolidated program benefits. About program and project, the integrative nature of program management involves coordinating the processes for each of the projects or programs. You see, whether it is a program or it is a project, both have to have some kind of coordination going on. Coordination applies through all program management activities and involves managing the processes at a higher level than those associated with individual projects. As far as the individual project is concerned, let project manager integrate his work. Within his project, with different activities and all that is to be integrated, let that job be done by the project manager. Now, you are going to coordinate as a program manager, you coordinate the projects inter-project connectivity. For example, management of issues and risk needing resolution at the program level because they involve multiple projects or otherwise cross project boundaries and therefore cannot be addressed at the individual project level. This is a very important point. If something cannot be dealt at a project level, program manager should automatically take responsibility of that. You know, it should not be like that project one says that this was not my responsibility because I had delivered this deliverable, and project B says, well, it was not my responsibility because I took it that way. So finger pointing is not allowed. Anything which is not in the domain of either of the projects is in the domain of the program, right? So we should readily accept our responsibilities. The interaction between a program and its components tend to be iterative and cyclic. In planning phase, information flows predominantly but not exclusively from the program components to the program during the planning phase. Naturally, when we are planning, this is kind of a bottom-up planning going on. Projects are being planned and then ultimately the program will be populated. But even before that, the outline structure of the program has to be there. Then the details are filled in by the project. So this is kind of a bottom-up. So information is flowing from bottom to up. Information regarding status changes affecting cross-cutting dependencies could be flowing from projects to the program again, and then from program to the affected project. So there is an information coming from one project, and program manager then realizes its impact on another project. So the thing started from bottom, from project A, and after the program has analyzed it, this needs to be informed to project B. So this is how information is coming up and then coming down again to another project. Early in the program guides and directs the individual program components to align and achieve desired goals and objectives. So program is a guide. Program manager is a guide. He just directs. He just suggests. He just provides guideline. He directs the individual program components, which are the projects and subprograms, to align and achieve desired goals and objectives. So you as a program manager must only be looking at the benefits. Do not, again and again I'm saying, do not micromanage. You are not to deal with the product of the project. This is not your job. Your job is to look at the benefits coming out of the project and how are you going to unify them. Program also influence the approach for managing the individual projects within it. So program may have a policy, may have an approach which could influence the way a project is done. Yes, of course, but we are not micromanaging. We are not, prescriptive in saying that you should do it like that. But naturally, from the program point of view, there is a mandatory requirement that the approach used in the project should be like that. So that is then followed. Accomplished through program managers' decision-making capability along the program stakeholder engagement and program governance. Later in the program, the individual components report through program governance processes on the project status, risks, changes, costs, issues, and other information affecting the program. For example, during schedule development, a detailed review of the overall schedule at the component level is needed to validate the information at program level. Naturally, the complete report would be completed only after all the inputs have come in. So as far as when you are creating a schedule development report at program level, then you need to have inputs coming from all the components, and only then it will be complete. So this is exactly, we have already seen this diagram, a similar kind of a diagram, and it shows how projects within a program the components of the program will interact with each other. So this we have already seen. We need not discuss it any further. Okay, before we can start with the relationship between program management and portfolio management, I suppose we are almost half time over, so we should have a little break of about 10 minutes, and then we'll get back. Before we leave, do you have any questions? Okay, then we meet after 10 minutes. So take care. Please raise hands. Okay, Shaul Hamid is there. Hashim, are you there? Hashim, are you there? Okay, we should start. So coming over to the relationship between program management and the portfolio management. PMI defines portfolio as projects, programs, sub-portfolios, and operations, all the four things. Independent projects directly coming under portfolio, programs naturally they come under portfolio, and there might be sub-portfolios, right? So those sub-portfolios are coming under the portfolio, and naturally there would be some operations because portfolio in itself an operational structure. Just like PMO. PMO is also an operational structure because it doesn't end anywhere. Manage as a group to achieve strategic objectives. The projects or programs within a portfolio may not be interdependent or directly related. That we understand. They are often unrelated, though they may share a common resource pool or compete for funding or something like that. A portfolio of projects may exist within an organization that has projects in progress. It is comprised of a set of initiatives that may or may not be related, interdependent, or even managed as a portfolio. That means you may not formally call it a portfolio, but portfolio will still exist. Projects may have been created by management effort to benefit one part of the organization without regard to overall strategic objectives or risks. With portfolio management, the organization is able to align the portfolio to strategic objectives. So, howsoever you are managing the portfolio, that is serving the strategic objectives. Meaning, that if you have got lesser funding and you kill certain projects to keep aligned with the strategic objectives, you are doing your job. Take into account the risk of the component mix in a portfolio at any given time. Components may be deferred by the organization when the risk of adding them to the current portfolio would unreasonably upset the balance and exceed the organizational risk tolerance. If you feel that any more projects added to the portfolio may increase the risk and that will upset the balance of the organization, so we will not add more projects. This is the portfolio design. Portfolio takes a snapshot of the organizational efforts in a program, reflecting the organizational goals at the time the project was selected. Portfolio and program management interact as part of their relationship within the organization strategy and objectives. As the organization manages its portfolio, the programs are influenced by portfolio needs such as organizational strategy and objectives, benefits, fund allocation, requirements, timelines, constraints, which are translated into the program scope, deliverables, budget, and schedule. So you see, the portfolio transfers the effect of organization directly to the program. Therefore, this missing link between the strategy, program, portfolio, and the program. So strategy is connected to the program through the portfolio. The direction of influence flows from the portfolio to the program. Direction of influence. Portfolio is influencing the program. The program benefit delivery, transition, and closing phases provide key data to the portfolio management function. This data may include program status information, program performance reports, budget and schedule updates, earned value, and other types of cost performance reporting, change requests, approved changes, and escalated risks and issues. All of these things may be useful for portfolio in making its decisions, because this is kind of analyzing the data for purposes of financial decision making. Type and frequency of these interactions is specified by the portfolio management or governance board, influenced by the program review and update cycle. Okay, a portfolio is one of the indicators that reveals an organization's true intent, risk tolerance, and progress. You see, this is very true. Portfolio basically gets you in line. It gives you the direction. It shows what is organization's true intent, how much risk risk they can tolerate, and it all depends upon the progress. It is where investment decisions are made. Actually, this is my point of view. As I have been saying, financial decisions. It is where the investment decisions are made. Resources are allocated and priorities are identified. So, portfolio is controlling all that. If the strategic direction changes, the portfolio is re-examined. You see, at any point in time, organization strategy, if changed, portfolio is the first thing which changes along with the strategy. It immediately launches on the job of re-examination, realignment of the portfolio with new organizational strategy, and thus decides, re-evaluates all the projects and programs within the portfolio as if they are still fit to be run under the new strategy. If not, then certain projects and programs would be killed, and new projects and programs which would be according to the new funding requirement would be initiated. Stakeholder direction change may occur in an organization due to market changes, organizational focus, competition, and other external environmental factors. So you see, organization can change its strategy based on many things like these. Portfolio selection process is revisited to ensure that portfolio components continue to be viable and are able to support and improve the organization's new strategic direction. So there is a re-evaluation always happening at the portfolio level, and it goes through a selection process all the time. And it is very much possible that at any point in time, portfolio may suddenly decide that this program is no more viable, right? So that would be actually looking from the perspective of alignment with the organizational strategy. When certain component projects or programs of the portfolio no longer satisfy the requirement, they may be cancelled. When this occurs, resources associated with the cancelled components are reassigned to other components within the portfolio. Interactions amongst portfolio management, program management, and project management. The distinction among portfolio, program, and project management can be made clear through their interaction. Portfolio management ensures that programs and projects are selected, they are prioritized, and they are properly staffed with respect to their alignment with the organizational strategy. So, portfolio has to keep in mind the alignment of the organizational strategy. Programs, what do they do? Programs focus on achieving the benefit align, where portfolio was more concerned about the alignment and selection, prioritization, and staffing. Program is more concerned about the benefit alignment with the portfolio and subsequently, again, the organizational objectives. Programs are comprised of projects and non-project work that focus on achieving planned outcomes. So this is again the same similar kind of diagram we have been seeing earlier. Next topic is the relationship among program management, operational management, and organizational strategy. Okay, program management, how does it relate to operations and strategy? The primary context for program management within the organization is the planning and performance against organizational strategy. Programs may directly work across multiple lines of business or may narrowly support single lines of business or functional areas within an organization. How much success an organization achieves by incorporating program management into its business processes is determined by the maturity of the organizational policies, controls, and governance practices. Now, how well can you run the programs, or how best you can benefit from the program management by incorporating the program management is all dependent upon the organizational policies, controls, and governance practices. So this is the overwhelming maturity measurement mechanism. It tells whether you can really perform under these circumstances or not. These factors define, communicate, and serve to align work within the organization to organizational strategy and objectives. We already understand. During their life cycle, projects produce deliverables, whereas programs deliver benefits and capabilities that the organization can utilize to sustain, enhance, and deliver organizational goals. So if the projects and programs are doing their job, ultimately organizational goals, how they are satisfied, they're being able to sustain, enhance, or deliver organizational goals. Let's look at this diagram. Here it shows the strategic vision is composed of the mission, the organizational strategy, the strategic alternatives, and ultimately, in this sequence, ultimately a portfolio is created. In this portfolio, we have got programs, and program has got its own strategy. They have benefits, they have a life cycle, they have different stakeholders, and there is a governance mechanism. So these are the 5 domains of the program. Under the program, there is a program life cycle, which is defining program definition, program delivery, and program closure. And within the program life cycle, there is a program delivery, that is subprograms, projects, and other work. So you see, this diagram also, up to some extent, translates the organizational strategy down to the program outputs or program delivery. Okay, program operations and strategy. Now this diagram is showing us what? This shows us the program life cycle, the benefit management life cycle. We have got the program definition. Benefit delivery is happening when the program has been prepared. And then the program closure is program transition and closeout. Stylized program life cycle illustrates the non-sequential nature of program management with the mobilization of components to produce a stream of deliverables that facilitate new operations and benefits during and after the program's completion. Now, this diagram is kind of a mixture of the program life cycle and the benefit delivery. So benefit delivery has been placed right in the middle, and it is more classified as a benefit management life cycle. Organizations address the need for change by creating strategic business initiatives to modify the organization or its product or services. Organizations use portfolio program and projects to deliver their initiative. The organization should ensure that these portfolios, programs, and projects are aligned with the organization's strategy and objective. This we understand from the very beginning. Then comprised of the best mix of project investment, that is from the portfolio perspective, that these investments which we are putting in must be the best investment we can make, and then make the best use of available resources. In addition, for large and intricate programs, the Program Management Office may provide additional management support for personnel and other sources, contracts and procurement, and legal or legislative issues. Generally, Program Management Office is set up within the program. It is not like a PMO overall looking all everything in the organization, not a centralized kind of a thing. Generally, I'm not saying this is as a rule. Generally, a complex program having many components would like to have its program activities, program work to be managed centrally through a PMO. So within a program, you may have a program management office or a program support office, whatever you want to call it. For large and intricate programs, the program management office may provide additional support. Some programs continue for years and assume many aspects of normal operations that overlap with the large organization's operational management. As I said, because a program is 20 years long, 30 years long, so that would become a habit. The way the program is being run would be just like normal operations of an organization for so many years. So the normal operations will overlap the normal operations of the program may overlap the operational management of the organization. So it may look like that it will never end, but programs do end sometime. Program Management Office may take on some of these responsibilities. For example, the Program Management Office, when established within a program, is an important element of program infrastructure. It supports the program manager with the management of multiple projects. While there are many varieties of program management offices within organizations, for the purposes of this standard, the Program Management Office provides support to the program manager. Primary support is for the program manager, but it also provides support to other managers.
I have a question. Will an organization have a program management office and project management office? Can these two PMOs exist, or only one has to be there?
Of course, it can exist in any combination, and there are many variations to it. Maybe you have a centralized PMO for the whole organization, or maybe you have got a centralized PMO and departmental PMOs working under the centralized PMO. You may have no central PMO and departmental PMOs. You may have a project office within a large project, which is also a kind of PMO. You can have a program management office or a program support office within a program within a program. So all kinds of PMOs may exist at the same time, but the decision is yours. What is the purpose of this PMO? For example, the program management office we are talking about right now, it means that we just want the management within a program, the program work for the program work or the program activities. We are trying to establish a small little office on a semi-permanent basis, right? So this would exist within the program. Now, what if you have got a very large organization running hundreds of programs, you may like to have a program management office at the organizational level, not talking about the individual programs. At the organization level, this would be something like a PMO, because in your case here, we have got all the programs running and there is no project management going on. So that would be called a program management office, maybe at enterprise level, maybe at strategic level, or whatever you want to call it. Centralized PMO could be there. So this all depends upon how you want to lay out your PMO and at what level you want to perform it. Generally, I would say, if you ask me, that any PMO within a large project or a program, I would rather not like to call it a PMO. I would call it a project support office, because that is more for the support purposes. But you see, this is the nomenclature which any organization may use at their will. There is no real restriction what nomenclature to use. There are 40 different names being used by organizations for PMOs. Is it okay, Ashim?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. What do we have next? Program Management Office provides support to the program manager. Naturally, that is the very primary job of a Program Management Office. And naturally, what we are discussing here is a Program Management Office working within the program, right? We are not talking about the outside of the program. Within the program, we have got a Program Management Office. So what does it do? Number one, defining the program management processes and procedures, supporting the management of schedule and budget, defining the quality standards for the program, or for that matter, maybe for the program components, supporting effective resource management across the program. So this is kind of the job which portfolio management was doing for the projects and programs, but you are doing it within your program for your projects, for the components of the program. Then we have providing document and configuration management, that is knowledge management, and providing centralized support for managing changes and tracking risks and issues. So this is the daily support issues for the program manager, and PMO would primarily be functioning for that. And you understand what are the different types of PMOs: support PMO and directive PMO and what all. So this is the primary requirement. At least we need a support PMO. That is the primary and first requirement. But beyond that, we can have a more controlling PMO or a directing PMO. You can have any type. But for that matter, here our needs are more of a support nature. In addition, for large and intricate programs, and Program Management Office may provide additional management support for personnel and other resources, contracts and procurement, and legal or legislative issues. If the programs are large, PMO may also help you devise the procurements, contracts, and all those details. Yes, of course. We may have a legal expert sitting down there. So this all depends on how big the thing is. You know, if it is a program of 30 years, you may have to hire a lawyer, may have to hire a chief finance officer and things like that within a program. Of course, why not? Some programs, you know, this kind of a program is like a full-fledged business running for a number of years. Why not? We have dedicated staff for that. Some programs continue for years and assume many aspects of normal operations that overlap with the larger organization's operational management. Just take the example of the NGOs in Pakistan. You know, United UNO or UNDP, they are setting up a new project in Pakistan. UN office is there, but at the same time, they allocate the responsibility to the country manager to set up his own offices, maybe for next 10 years to conduct this program. And this program is conducted for next 10 years and is managed, and all of those things which are happening there they are managing a PMO. So program management office may take on some of these responsibilities. Next topic is business value, which you might have studied in PMBOK also. There is a added emphasis on business value, which was never, but rather this topic has been introduced very recently. Business value is what is the worth of your business. I'm not talking about the program. I'm talking about the worth of your business, the organization. What is your organization worth at this point in time? Why are we talking about that? If we somehow know and understand what is the worth of my organization right now, I would then be able to endeavor to enhance the business value, to increase the worth of my organization through my projects, programs, and portfolios. We have never focused on that. We talk a lot about organizational strategy, alignment with the organization strategy, doing this and that. But what if you are not increasing the worth of your business by a single penny for last 10 years? Why should you be doing a business from the monetary point of view? This is a nonsense business which is taking you nowhere. Your organization is standing exactly at the same place where it was standing 10 years ago. Then what is the fun of having this? So business value is ascertaining the worth of your organization by calculating all the tangible and intangible assets your organization has. That would give you the worth currently your organization have, and whatever projects or change related initiatives, projects or programs you are undertaking, has it been adding any value to your business? That is another question. I say again, it is not only the matter of strategic alignment, strategic objectives, meeting the strategic objective, but in addition to that, are you adding anything to the business worth, business value of your organization? If not, then probably you have to think twice. So it is a concept unique to each organization. Every organization takes it in a different way, and I would not shy away from saying that even government organizations, they claim that they don't care about business value because they do not need to make profit. This is utter nonsense. Every organization, no matter it's a government organization or otherwise, they have a business value dot. If there was no business value, why were there business rules in government? You know, in parliament, in governments, they have got business rules. You are actually running the business of the government, and this government is supposed to be profitable. Your organization, your country is supposed to be profitable, otherwise you will go in debt. So basically, this is a nonsense attitude to say that because we are a government organization, we don't need to enhance the business value. Everybody needs to enhance their business value. It is defined as an entire value of the business, the total sum of all tangible and intangible elements. Tangible elements are those which can be calculated easily. Like you see, you have got in your office a lot many assets lying down there. So you can somehow calculate the salvage value of everything tangible lying in your office, the cost of the building, whatever, everything you can sum up and find a tangible outcome out of it. Then the profits lying in the banks, are the assets lying in the banks, the accounts payable, and all those things which could be assessed are tangible. But your organization also have a lot many intangible assets, like the goodwill you have established over years, the brand you are carrying and the recognition of that brand. Say today IBM decides to sell, even the brand itself will sell for millions. I'm not talking about the whole business. The brand alone will sell for millions. Then what is the public benefit you are giving? What is your trademark? All of these things which otherwise are priceless will also carry some value. So those intangibles also have to be added. This will give you the overall total business worth of your organization. This is the business value I am talking about. Depending upon the organization, the business value scope can be short-term, medium-term, or long-term. Now you know that your organization is worth $6 million. Fine, good. What do you see? What is your vision? This vision thing applies at strategic level as well as this level, business value level. Like we say, where do you see your organization in next 50 years? Say, 50 years, where do you see your organization? From strategic point of view and from financial point of view. Both. We do not have to forget any one of them, because one is setting our strategic objectives, the other is setting our business value objectives. Both of them should be kept clearly in mind. So, from the strategic point of view, I say that my organization will be from strategic point of view, will be the lead organization dealing with the child protection laws in the Asia region. Right now, where we stand, and this is my dream which I want to accomplish. So, to accomplish this long-term dream, I have to break up this dream into mid-term and short-term objectives. So, I may like to break this 50-year time into maybe 5-yearly periods. And after every 5 years, I will achieve certain milestones. And if I keep meeting those milestones, after 50 years, I would have achieved this target. And within every 5-year medium-term objective, I want to have my yearly objective defined after every 5 years. So for the first 5-year plan, I have got these. First year, I will accomplish this. Second year, I will accomplish this, and so on. Same is good for your business value. Maybe you want to say that you want to increase your business worth to 100 times from now in 50 years. So 6 million means 600 million worth you want to achieve after 50 years. Then every year, how much are you supposed to achieve? Or for that matter, every 5 years, how much you want to achieve? So you set your targets accordingly. So look at the vision from both perspectives of the strategy as well as the business value. This is important. Value may be created through effective management of ongoing operations. Through the effective use of portfolios, programs, and project management, organizations will possess the ability to employ reliable, established processes to meet strategic objectives and obtain greater value from their project investment. Now, this is the first time we are seeing the strategic objectives as well as the greater value thing, the business value. Both are separate targets. They must be aligned together. That would be for the best benefit of the organization. All organizations are not business driven, we agree, but all organizations conduct business related activity. Like I said, even governments who claim they are not business driven, they still conduct business of the government. And therefore, they have to maintain or enhance their business value. Even government agencies and NGOs focus on attaining business value for their activities. How do we realize the business value? We were talking about earlier the benefit realization. Now are we talking about the business value realization? Whatever the business value dream you have seen, the vision, the short-term, long-term, and mid-term plan, whatever that is, how is it going to be realized? Successful business value realization begins with comprehensive strategic planning and management. Organizational strategy can be expressed through the organizational mission and vision, including orientation to markets, competition, and other environmental factors. Effective organizational strategy provides defined direction for development and growth in addition to performance metrics for success. You must always tie your plans with the performance metrics. Otherwise, you won't know that you are anywhere near your target or not. So you must have milestones established, you must have KPIs established. It is essential to use portfolio, program, and project management techniques in order to bridge the gap between organizational strategy and successful business value realization. Again, a very clear indication that organizational strategy and business value realization both are important and both have to be synchronized. And I make my point here. They are two separate things. You may ignore one and progress on the other, but this is not in the best interest of the organization. As far as portfolio management is concerned, how do they create business value? Portfolio management align their components, project, programs, and operations to the organizational strategy naturally, organized into portfolios or sub-portfolios to optimize project or program objectives, dependencies, costs, timelines, benefits, resources, and risk. This allows the organization to have an overall view of how the strategic goals are reflected in the portfolio, institute appropriate governance management, and authorize human, financial, and material resources to be allocated based on expected performance and benefits. So wherever we are talking about money, finances, funding, appropriate use of that funding and investment into profitable ventures would increase your business value. Using program management, organizations have the ability to align multiple projects for optimized or integrated cost, schedule, effort, and benefits. Program management focuses on project interdependency and helps to determine the optimal approach for managing and realizing the desired benefits, thus increasing the business value. From the project management perspective, with project management, organizations have the ability to apply knowledge, processes, skills, tools, and techniques that enhances the likelihood of success over a wide range of projects. Project management focuses on the successful delivery of product, service, and results. Within programs and projects portfolios, projects are the means of achieving organizational strategy and objectives. Now, the lowest portion, the lowest change related initiative is the project, whether it is within a program or a portfolio. Actually, the thing which moves the buck is project. And this project is actually achieving the organizational strategy and objective. And also, this is the main instrument which is adding to the business value. Then we have got the organizational enablers, which I said structural, cultural, technological, and human resource practices. So organizations can achieve successful transitions within the portfolio, program, and project domains and attain effective investment management and business value realization by continuously conducting portfolio strategic alignment and optimization. Now, this optimization thing is actually the effective realization of the business value. You are being efficient, you are being economized, optimized, performing business impact analysis, and developing robust organizational enablers. Then we come over to the role of the program manager. As in PMBOK, we talk about the role of the project manager. Here we talk about the role of the program manager. So what are the responsibilities and competencies of the program manager? The role of project manager is separate and distinct from that of a program manager. I think one thing is wrong. At all times during the course of a program, the program manager works within the 5 program management performance domains. So program manager's performance would be measured according to his performance in the performance domains. Program manager interacts with each project manager to provide support and guidance. Time and again, we are focusing on that. Program manager does not need to micromanage. He just needs to interact with the project managers to provide support and guidance. The program manager also conveys the important relationship of each project to the overall program and organizational performance objective. So he will try to make the project manager understand how his project is contributing to the program and what are the performance domains which are being which objectives are being fulfilled. Program project manager and program management office. The program manager works to ensure that the overall program structure and program management processes enable the program and its component teams to successfully complete their work and to integrate the components deliverable into program and product service result or benefits. So whatever is coming out, that would be integrated with the product, service, or result coming out of the project, or the benefits coming out of the project. They all have to be integrated. So this is one job. Program manager is focused on that. Project manager work to ensure that the projects are organized and executed in a consistent manner and fulfilled within the established standards. Program management office, when present, because it is not going always to be present, may have a role in providing information needed to make decisions that guide the program in addition to providing administrative support in managing schedules, budget, risk, and the other areas required from the project. Remember, we are talking about program. So this is program schedule, program budget, program risk we are talking about. This is not the project level work. Again, no micromanagement. The role of project manager is separate and distinct from the sorry, we have gone back. Program managers are required to have a broad view of both program objectives and organizational culture and processes. Program managers should address a number of issues systematically and effectively during the course of the program. For example, they need to optimize the resources. Now, you see, you remember optimization of resources was the portfolio responsibility. But having said that, program manager is responsible for all the program components, which include the project and distribution of resources among these components. So the optimization of resources within the program components is the responsibility of program manager. Evaluating total cost of ownership and overseeing requirements and configuration management across components. These are the program manager's responsibilities. As far as the communication skills are concerned, program manager needs to have much better communication skills than the project manager. He has strong communication skills to interact effectively with various stakeholders, because the stakeholders, the level of stakeholders is much higher. Naturally, there's the program team members, the sponsors, there are customers, vendors, senior management, maybe other program stakeholders. Program manager has to look at a wider plethora of the stakeholders, and he has to take care of them. It is quite different from the stakeholders the project manager has to look on. As far as skills and competencies are concerned, program managers should identify stakeholders, understand their needs and expectations, develop a stakeholder engagement plan. This is all happening at the program level. I'm not talking about the project manager. This is the program stakeholder engagement plan to support stakeholders, help align their expectations, and improve overall acceptance of program objectives. Program manager should recognize the dynamic human aspects of each program stakeholder expectations and manage them accordingly. So what all you have studied in project management applies to program management, but naturally the level has increased. The program communications management plan, you see all the knowledge areas you were referring to, Hashim, those knowledge areas are not called knowledge areas here, but as required, you may need to develop those plans like risk management plan, communication management plan, stakeholder. There's a program level plans may have to be created, but here we are more focused towards the domains, the performance domains. But anyways, in our planning, we may have created these plans. And the communication management plan should address stakeholder needs and expectations and provide key messages in a timely fashion in a format specifically for the interested parties. You see, there is not much different from the project communication management plan. Just the level has been escalated. Such like knowledge areas are not redefined here. They are not included here as new as program communication management knowledge area. So this is not a knowledge area. This is just a plan, and you may develop any number of plans as required. It is important to initiate, engage, and maintain stakeholder relationships to effectively manage the program and achieve desired benefits. Active stakeholders engagement helps build and maintain ongoing support for the program. So you see, we are continuously talking about the stakeholders here. Almost the whole stakeholder knowledge area has been discussed in one way or the other. Then program manager lead the program management team. Program management team we are talking about. We're not talking about the project management team. That is the job of the project manager, not concerned about, program manager is not concerned about that. Program manager is more concerned about the program management team, and he has to establish program direction. He has to identify interdependencies amongst various projects and the components, communicating program requirements, tracking progress, making decisions, identifying and mitigating risks, and resolving conflicts and issues. This is what program manager must lead his team towards. This is his job. This is the job of program manager. Program manager work with project managers and often with the functional managers to gain their support, resolve conflicts, and direct individual program team members by providing specific work instructions. So program manager will interact with all of them. Will maybe, he will be interacting with the project managers, functional managers, and all those people. Leadership is embedded in the program manager's job and occurs throughout the course of the program. But as I said earlier, program manager should upkeep the level he is supposed to manage. He should not stoop down to the level of a project manager or to a team level member. Program manager employ strategic visioning and planning to attain program goals and objectives with the long-term goals of the organization. Once the program goals and benefits have been defined, program level, structured plans are developed to execute the individual components. While project managers lead the work on their component, it is the program manager's responsibility to ensure alignment of the individual plans with the program goals and benefits. He has to ensure that when a project manager comes up with a plan, program manager will ensure that the plan of the project manager is in alignment with the program objectives. Right? This is the program manager's scope. He doesn't have to get involved in the intricacies of the project manager's plan. He doesn't have to start rewriting it. Then from the interpersonal skills point of view, project managers accomplish work through project team and other stakeholders. Here, effective project managers require a balance of ethical, interpersonal, and conceptual skills that help them analyze situations and interact appropriately. So the same is true here for the program manager. So for the project manager, we need to have leadership, team building, motivation, communication, influencing, decision making, political and cultural awareness, negotiation, trust building, conflict management, coaching. So all of these are the skills for the project manager. And from the program management perspective, also naturally these things will be useful for him as well. Then we have the role of the program sponsor. A program sponsor is an individual or a group that provides resources and support for the program and is accountable for enabling success. A program steering committee may assume the role of a program sponsor. Now, these are important things. Who is the program sponsor? Naturally, just like in project, the person who was writing the charter for the project was the program sponsor. He was ordering the project to start. So who is ordering the program to start? Who is writing the mandate or the charter for the program? So there is a person, there is a boss of program manager that is called the program sponsor. So he is an individual or a group that provides resources and support to the program and is accountable for enabling success. A program steering committee may assume the role of program sponsor because program is such an important entity. So maybe it is not one person, it is a whole steering committee that will take on the role of program sponsor. However, the program sponsor is usually an individual. So even if it is a steering committee, so one person who is leading the steering committee must be nominated as the program sponsor. So usually it is an individual executive who is committed to ensuring the program is appropriately supported and able to deliver its intended benefits. We generally call this person as program director. In this capacity, the sponsor may support and assist the program manager in stakeholder engagement. The program sponsor also provides valuable guidance and support to the program manager, ensuring that the program receives appropriate high-level attention and consideration, and that the program manager is informed of organizational changes that may affect the program. So he's a level up than program manager, and therefore he has more reach. The governance and management focused roles of the program sponsor are discussed in more detail in section 5.1 and 6.2.1, which comes later in 5th and 6th chapter. Then we have got the role of program management office. As we have already talked a lot about program management offices, so we must be very clear already. A program management office is a management structure that standardizes the program related governance processes, facilitates the sharing of resources, methodologies, tools, and techniques. A program management office often also supports training and other organizational change management activities. Program management office may be established within an individual program to provide support specific to that program, or independent of an individual program to provide support to one or more of an organization's programs. So you may have a program PMO, PGMO within a program, or you may have a program management office established for say 3 or 4 programs. When established as a part of a program, program management office is an important element of the program's infrastructure and an aid to the program manager. It may support program manager with the management of multiple projects and program activities. For example, by defining the standard program management processes and procedures, providing training to ensure standards and practices. Generally, this is what the PMO does. So it has been just, at the program level, it has been defined. Supporting program communications, supporting program level change management activities, conducting program performance analysis, supporting management of the program schedule and budget, defining general quality standards for the program and its components, supporting effective resource management, again at the program level, providing support for reporting to leadership and program steering committee, supporting documents and knowledge transfer, and providing centralized support for managing changes and track risks, issues, and decisions. So all the responsibilities of the program manager are taken up by the PMO, and it's a big support of it. So all the program work, almost all the program work, except for unification of benefits, is being done by PMO. So program manager's life is going to be much, much more easier just by having this PMO within the program. In addition, for large and complex programs, the Program Management Office may provide additional management support for personnel and other resources. Now, you see, when a PMO exists at a higher level, that is bound to start providing support downwards as well. So, it may provide support in many other things like personnel and other resources, contract and procurement management, legal and legislative issues, and so on and so forth. Some programs continue for years and assume many aspects of normal operations that overlap with the larger organizational operations management, which I said earlier. The Program Management Office may take on some of these responsibilities, like legal and procurement and contract. Maybe Program Management Office takes on that responsibility. The specific governance and management focused roles of Program Management Office are described further in section 6 and 8, and we will be discussing those when they come. Some organizations elect not to have formally defined program management offices. In those instances, the managing function of the program management office is generally assumed by the assigned program manager. If there is no program management office established within a program, then all the duties which we have ascribed to a program management office will then be the responsibility of program manager himself. So it is fair to say that if this is a large program and program manager thinks that he cannot handle all of this job by himself, so he may set up a program management office within his program. So this brings us to the end of this chapter. If you have got any questions or discussions you need to do, please ask questions. Yes, please. Open to you. You can raise hands. Just because there is a noise coming from your side, that's why I'm not putting on the speaker mics. Yes, please, please. Ashim, what do you think?
No, nothing.
Are you comfortable with what we studied today?
Yes. At least the picture is clear. Portfolio, program, and role of program management office.
Wonderful. And what you were suggesting earlier to study some aspects from PMBOK, I think that has been bridged. We have studied a lot many things which were covered in the first 3 chapters of PMBOK. They have been translated from the program perspective into this chapter.
Okay.
And what about you, Shaul?
I'm comfortable, sir. I'm going through it. There's a lot to read. Thank you. Thanks for your insights.
Wonderful. So if you do not have anything more to say, no more queries, then we can call it a day, a little earlier than usual. And from next class, tomorrow onwards, tomorrow we will do the second chapter. The next chapter will start tomorrow. Is it okay with you?
Okay, sir. No problem. But is there any other exercise you will be giving it, or do we need to study for any other? I'm just asking.
Let me check. No, I do not have an exam for. I do not have an exam for this portion. But when we will start studying the domains, then I'll be testing your knowledge accordingly.
Inshallah, sir. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot for it.
Most welcome. Ji Hashim, what do you want to say?
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, will you give us some study material, some homework, so we can do some reading based on the topics that we covered?
Did I not provide you the study material?
You have given the whole link, all the slides and all the books, but like anything specific that we should be going through?
No, nothing specific. Just go through that material, and you will find a lot many things you can learn more about. But naturally, what we are discussing here in class, this is the most enriching. There are so many things coming to light, which you otherwise, if you read the book, you won't be able to understand.
Okay.
Okay, then thank you very much. And let's call it a day. Thank you, and take care of yourself. Tomorrow we'll see you again. Good afternoon.